Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Happy New Year, Ed. It's 2026. I hope it's off to a bang and a better start than 2025 for you. All good?
I think it's about the same. I don't remember as definite 2025, 26. Had good Christmas, good New Year's Eve. Went to my local church service, believe it or not.
Oh, good for you.
Far cry from back in the day when I was, as you say, honky-tonking around to the different venues.
You did all that.
Little soul searching in the church service, which was absolutely tremendous. And to me, it was a great way to start 2026.
Good to know you weren't under the mistletoe and messing around doing some things you shouldn't. But college football's playoff, it's down to the Final Four. The Hoosiers of Indiana, Hoosiers, against the Oregon Ducks. They are all they're quacked up to be, fresh off a shutout of Texas Tech. See what I did there? Ole Miss, the Rebels, minus Lane Kiffin, 39-34 over Georgia. Ed doesn't even know who's coaching him. He just calls him that other guy, Pete Golding, by the way. That other guy. Doing a good job.
Hey, I have to interject something that I found out, was it yesterday? Lane Kiffin has in his LSU contract, you probably heard this, every win Mississippi gets in the play, I said Mississippi gets in this playoff, he gets $250,000. If they win the national title, he gets $1 million.
Well, did you see he didn't go to the bowl game? He didn't go to the Sugar Bowl. He was with Kim Mulkey, escorting her on the court, or she escorting him on the basketball court before one of their games. Well, they've lost back-to-back games in women's hoops, including to Vanderbilt, who's one of 4 unbeaten in women's Division I college hoops. We're not talking about basketball right now. That's later in the show. Some high school hoops later in the show. College hoops, NBA, weeks to come. We got months to come. It's college football time now, and the U is back, baby. Yeah, the U is back. The U is back, Ed.
Who?
They're back. The U, Miami. They beat the Buckeyes of The Ohio State University. No longer the national champs. That was a year ago. It's a brand new year in 2026, and a new champ will be crowned. Will it be the Big Ten champs of Indiana, the Ducks of Oregon, the Canes from Miami, or Ole Miss? What a story that would be. Most of these games were lopsided, double digits, except the Ole Miss Georgia game, 39-34, as Trinidad Chambliss had himself a heck of a day. 362 yards, not 262, 362 for the former Division II Ferris State quarterback. He can use his legs too. But now we're set with the Final Four of Hoosiers and Ducks, Hurricanes and Rebels. What do you think about this? Miami's physical. Indiana's defense has been rock solid, and they got a lot of Virginia flavor on their roster for former JMU big whistle sideline boss Curt Cignetti. And you look at these quarterbacks for Oregon and Ole Miss, Dante Moore for Oregon and Trinidad Chambliss for Ole Miss. They're pretty exciting. They're dynamic. Moore's completing almost 73% of his passes. What's going to decide the edge? Of course, the Hoosiers have the Heisman winner in Fernando Mendoza too. So all your quarterbacks left are good. All your defenses are pretty solid, and your line of scrimmage play pretty exceptional too.
I would like to think on paper and hopefully on the court, on the field, it's going to be 2 close games. One score games, which so far in the playoffs, I think we've only had 2 that are 1-score wins. Indiana, again, they have made me a complete believer. I've had them losing. I had them losing to Alabama, and they smashed Alabama. I kept waiting for them to lose a game during the year. They're going to slip up somewhere. That didn't happen. Now they're playing a very tough Oregon Duck team, a lot of speed. Mm-hmm. I think Indiana gets them. I think this is Indiana's year. Cignetti has done a tremendous job with navigating the portal. They're solid on all 3 phases of the game. I don't think the Ducks are lackadaisical in any of the 3 either. I just think Indiana overall is a better team for that.
This is a rematch. Remember, they played back October 11th at Autzen Stadium. Hoosiers won 30-20. Now, this is a neutral site matchup, and Indiana had 6 sacks in the first meeting. Can the defense, led by Riverbend High School, Fredericksburg native Aiden Fisher, former JMU Duke, get home and get to Moore and get him unglued. This Hoosiers team, a lot of Virginia talent. Tyreek Tucker from Norfolk on that defensive line. You got Stephen Daly from Winchester, Kent State transfer to John Hanley High School in the defensive end spot. We know about LeBron Bond from Maury High at receiver. Going to get more time as the years go on. And Kalon Black at running back, part of a 1-2 punch with Roman Hemby for IU on the offensive side of the ball. But outside of that Penn State game, which was a 27-24 nail-biter, their defense has been exceptional. Ducks need takeaways that they got against Texas Tech, and I'm not sure they'll get them in this matchup.
Yeah, the problem, too many people are looking at Indiana and thinking basketball, it's a fluke season. You've got to get over that. This team is solid. I mean, give them any other name, and we'd be like, wow, maybe one of the best teams in the last 20, 30 years of football in terms of how they bring it across. I've always been impressed by Oregon's speed, especially at the, quote, hands positions, especially defensive backfield, that they can make the game a track meet. And if you don't have the people who can keep up, you're chasing all night long. So, again, I think the importance of that game, like most playoff games, is the interior lines, offense, defense, who gets the advantage. And again, you're right. I think Indiana's defense way better than most people think it is, and I think they'll overpower Oregon up front.
I love the fact that center Pat Coogan, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish lineman, and that entire offensive line, they were named offensive MVPs at a Rose Bowl for Indiana. He became the first O-lineman to win the award since USC's Norm Very back in 1944. That's when Ed first started watching football, folks, after their 38-3 dominant victory over Alabama paved the way. So Miami and Ole Miss. Kejuan Lacey's a 1,400-yard rusher, 23 touchdowns, but that Miami defense, Ed, led by Reuben Bain Jr. and Akeem Messidor with 12 sacks in his playoff wins over Texas A&M and Ohio State. I feel like Ole Miss now with the changes constantly, a couple coaches now going with Lane. This is probably where they run out of gas here and it's too much for them in this matchup. Miami's physicality probably ekes it out in a close one.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be hurt from the coaching standpoint. It will be what happens on that field. And again, Miami's strength, they do have quickness too, especially on their defense. Bain is just, you got to put two people on. I think it's a slight mismatch. I would look for Miami to win by at least 10, but I'm not going to count out Mississippi. I had them losing to Georgia. I thought it would be 14-point win for at least for Georgia. It wasn't true. They played much better than I thought they would. And you would think, again, with all that distraction with Kiffin, and then taking some of the coaches out of there now, Kiffin's still getting some of the publicity. Was he at the games, coming to the games, whatever? It just seems like Mississippi is focused, but again, I think it's Indiana. I think Indiana takes this one down, and I think it's because of their defense.
Speaking of playoffs, the NFL playoff picture, it's now set. NFC, we'll do AFC later in the show. The Seattle Seahawks got the bye by beating San Francisco, Ed, 13-3. And here are your wild card round matchups. It's an NFC North rematch. Yet again, Green Bay, Chicago, the 7 Packers taking on the 2 Bears who lost to Detroit, but they still got the 2 because the Eagles slipped up on the banana peel with their backup quarterbacks in the game, not Jalen Hurts. They'll host San Francisco. Carolina wins the NFC South, backdooring in, losing to Tampa Bay, but Atlanta beats New Orleans. And the Rams, who lost on Monday night last week to the Falcons, they'll visit Carolina, who they lost to earlier this season at Carolina. Rams maybe the favorite to win the NFC in a lot of people's eyes here. What do you feel? Who's going to represent the National Football Conference in the Super Bowl?
I go with the Rams. Going into the playoffs here, I thought LA, of course, at the beginning of the season, I had Philadelphia kind of shaky. I think LA is the hotter team right now. Won't be surprised if Philly comes out of this pack. San Francisco, a little hard to look at. When you look at these matchups, I would think they're going to be close games, but you look at the Rams and Panthers and say, why is the Panthers rated that high, seated that high? Well, they won their division. And the teams below them, all the teams below them have better records. But again, your divisional winner, you don't get seated below wild cards. So I get that. But if I have to pick right this moment, I'm going Rams to win that. probably Eagles over San Francisco. The Bear and Packer game is the question.
Pick 'em. It's a total pick 'em right now, according to the guys in Vegas. The opening line, 3.5 for the Eagles and 10.5. The Rams, who lost by 3, 31-28 in Carolina, a 10.5-point favorite at Carolina. Wow. Look, I think the Rams will win that game, but the way they've been losing close games scares me for them. I think it's going to be the winner of San Francisco-Philadelphia going to the Super Bowl. And I'm actually leaning with San Francisco to get it back right. I know their defense has been very leaky. Seattle's really good defense. Sam Darnold, the second guy to win 14 games in back-to-back seasons. The other guy is Tom Brady. Chicago, to me, is not quite ready yet, and their defense showed some cracks, chinks in the armor in their loss to San Francisco last Sunday night. But I'm going to go with the winner of Niners-Eagles, and I'll take a stab with the San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey to get there out of the NFC as the sixth.
You think the pressure is all on the Rams because they're playing Carolina? Carolina can play loosey-goose. They're at home.
A little bit. I just don't think Carolina's good enough to beat them again. They did it once. I'm not sure they'll do it again.
Yeah, I don't think they would either. And I think the Rams are built to play games on the road if they have to.
Yeah. We'll do AFC later in the show. You're going to hear some high school hoops sound in just a bit as well. But we've also got for you around the corner, too, Dyrri McCain, head football coach of the Maury Commodores. Some of our conversation with him that we had as the calendar turned from 2025 to 2026. You're watching 757 Sports Talk, and you're watching with us on COVA Sports TV. Like, share, and always subscribe.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we welcome everybody back to 757 Sports Talk. I'm the coach, Ed Young of the Smithfield Packers. My partner, Matt Hatfield, recently caught up with a couple of the winning coaches from the Virginia Hoop Fest, played at Norview High School in Norfolk. He spoke with Oscar Smith's LaVar Griffin and Norview's Ricardo Foster. Let's check out what they had to say following their victories right here on COVA Sports TV.
All right, I'm here with Oscar Smith, head basketball coach LaVar Griffin, as Tigers win a nail-biter 68-67 over the Catholic Crusaders in the Virginia Hoop Fest at Norview High School in Norfolk. Coach, you're 5-0 in the season. I'm not sure if this is a question or a statement, but I think we saw the young basketball team, the coming of age for them, the good, the bad, the ugly, but you held on and got it done.
Man, we just got to get back to practice on in the game stuff, but they kept fighting. And I just told them to relax and just play, and we kind of got a little rattle at the end. But that's, like you said, that's the young that came out. Guys just trying to figure it out still. And like I said, we found a way to win.
But this is a very different basketball team than the last one for you a year ago that won a region championship and got to the state Final Four. Yet it's a talented one, and I think we're seeing some signs. This was their first close test. I know you played Indian River, you played Missouri Holiday Classic, but it was good to have a battle against a really quality opponent.
Absolutely. Catholic, good team. And we knew what we was going up against when we came in. And like I told the guys, I said, this is going to be a great test for us, just by us, doing what we did to be 4-0. But like I said, this was a great game for us to get ready for January. We're about to be playing these back-to-back games, and we got some tough opponents we're about to go against. So I think this was good for us, just the confidence, giving them the confidence and being able to finish a game like this.
Yeah, Southeast District's no picnic with the likes of Kings Fork and Nansburg. The list goes on. You guys love the league. Let's chat about some of your personnel. The youngster really stood up from today, the MVP of the game. We saw him a couple of years ago as a sophomore reserve, earned Virginia Wesleyan team MVP. Casey Fitch, I hear his work ethic is undeniable. And today, 23 points for his 7 rebounds. He really willed you at times, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the program, and he knows what it takes to win. And he's just a different guy now. And like I said, he's a hard worker. Like you said, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger, he's moving different, and his shot has gotten pretty. So Casey, he's the leader of the guys. They follow him. He's a great example to the guys on his work that he do. And like I said, he deserved this. He deserved it.
Kelly Kingford, another newcomer, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, some pretty impressive numbers. I saw you coach him throughout the game because he's going to make some mistakes, but he makes effort mistakes, doesn't he?
Absolutely. It's new to him. Being in an environment like this and being a part of the program that we have, and it's new to him. But like I told him at the beginning of the game, I said, have fun. And he did a good job for us too.
Well, we know about Oscar Smith, going back to when you've had Des Devane and Nigel Barrio and Donald Hicks and all these other guys, is that you have shooters and you have guards, and you had that this year with Kelly and Corin Buckingham Ham and Fitch and guys that can, and oh, by the way, Quality Price coming off the football field. He's another athletic player for you at the guard spot, huh?
Yes, he helps a lot. It's always been guards for me, and we're going to always prepare them and get them ready for moments like this and get them ready. So we did a good job.
Sure, 2 more extra run here. Number one for them, Carter Bullock, has 29 points today. He got to the foul line 15 times, 11 in the first half. Did you know much about him coming in, and what was sort of the game plan to try to keep him at bay? Because he was starting to dominate at times for them.
Absolutely. We knew, like I said, we knew who he was going up against it. And, like, him fouling, him getting to the line, we were fouling too much. And I told the guys, I said, we got to stop fouling because we're keeping them in the game. So we made an adjustment at halftime, even though them guys still was able to get to the basketball, and that's something we're going to just have to work on in practice.
Lastly, thank you for your time. We were talking before the game about, Region 6A with Lansdowne and Elsinore and you guys in it. It'd be nice to get that 1 seed to get maybe the home court, if you will, for the playoff. But what's the ceiling for this group? Because the expectations at Oscar Smith are always to win and compete for championships, whether it's basketball, your football team just won a state championship, and that's the goal, isn't it?
Absolutely. Of course, it's always going to be the goal. Our expectations are very high here, and we're just taking it day by day, Matt, and we're just going to keep grinding every day, and we're going to take it game by game. We prepare for each game. So we're just going to slow ourselves down a little bit, get ourselves back in the lab, and fix the things that we need to fix to go for the next game.
Well, as they continue to prepare and progress, they keep the goose egg in the lost column and get another W. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm here with Norview head basketball coach Ricardo Foster. His Pilots win at 90-15 over Princess State. A dominant fashion, coach. Running clock margin tonight. 34-point first quarter. Jamari Mitchell hits 4 threes, 16 points. He and Keon Fats Mitchell. You've been a part of some pretty neat shooting performances in this gym too, and state tournament runs. But this was on a different level tonight in the first quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, them guys came out. They came ready to play. They was prepared. They prepared themselves, and they were I honestly think they kind of built themselves up a little too much for the game. But I'll take it.
But you have to be pleased in a showcase in your gymnasium to have the crowd come out and kind of feed off the energy from your fans, right?
Chill out. Nah, it was a great, man. The whole day was great atmosphere from the first game to the last. Man, I'm just proud to be a part of this program, proud to be a part of this team, man. Keon Mitchell, he's doing this thing, doing pretty good. Jamari Mitchell, those guys playing. They shot that ball pretty well. They playing some defense. They staying disciplined. I love it.
Let me ask you about Keon Fats Mitchell. You've had his kid since he was an 8th grader going to 9th grade. 4-year starter, all-state kid. He's got some interest for the next level, no doubt about it. But the thing that impresses me, coach, is his passing. He has 36 points tonight. Even go back to the Allen Iverson Showcase. He had 36 points.
Oh.
But the other day in the Iverson Showcase, he almost had a double-double with assists. Tonight he had 6 assists. He makes a lot of really good passes and makes his teammates better, doesn't he?
He makes his teammates a lot better. And whoever get him at the next level, man, it's going to be a blessing for them. The way you see the floor, I honestly think sometimes he passes a little too much at this level. But man, he great floor vision, man. He can see the floor from a mile away. He executes. So whoever get him, man, they're gonna get a gem.
You've seen Division I players come to this program. The names of Kendricks Brown and Chris McKeechin on your staff, and Malcolm Hawkins got a list of players. But what's the best part of his game? Because we know he's been a natural scorer since his freshman year. What do you like most about him as a basketball player?
His actual feel for the game. When I look at Keon, he reminds me of the John Hines, the Jaylani Darden's, the Malcolm Hawkins, the Ken Browns, the Keontae Johnson. He reminds me of all those guys who came through the program, cool, calm, collective, and just a straight assassin on the floor.
We'll go defenders for a second. We got both Zamarion and Keon shooting free throws after a win by 31 points.
He out there missing free throws. He's still missing free throws.
But he's working on it, though, right?
Yeah. We got to get him right, though, man. We got to get him right.
Two more for you. This team is still building its 3 through 9 or 10, whatever you would call it, rotation players. How much is that going to be a key to your success, Eastern District, regionally, and perhaps beyond?
Everybody got to be ready to play. From the first man to the 12th man on the bench. I believe we can go 12 deep, but I don't want to mess up the floor of the top guys, so I try to keep that rotation at 7 or 8, but if I need to go 9 or 10, I can.
Lastly, you have a culture here at Norview of an expectation to win and compete, and Class 5 is very deep. What are the things you're going to harp on with your group as you get towards district play here in the regionals on the horizon? What are the things you're going to be emphasizing with your team?
Stay disciplined. Stay focused. It's a long road down that road to Broad Street to make it to Richmond. And, you just got to have the perfect timing. Shots got to be falling, and a whole lot of luck. So hopefully we'll have all those things throughout the season.
Well, tonight they were clicking and they're fun to watch. Norview Pilots, Coach Foster, thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
I thought you guys were going to be in a bit of trouble when you ran into a state semifinal opponent on the road without your leading tackler. But before we even delve into that, you're coming off back-to-back, and you graduate literally. I mean, people don't understand the amount of talent that you graduated from the season before. I think it was 9 All-State guys, 6 guys that went to Division I college football, 5 that went to Power 5 programs. It'd be very easy to say, well, you know what, this might not be our time to do it, but the standard is the standard at Maury now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's credit to a bunch of the guys. And again, just we had 7 guys leave from that team before that went and played Division I football, not 6. So losing that many guys, man, and being able to do what we do, man, it's just a testament to the culture of the kids, the guys, the coaches, what the program is and what it's always been about. Nobody's bigger than the program, myself included. There's no coach, there's no player that's bigger than what the ultimate goal is. And, we are all in it together, man, just as, I know my face is on everything and, everything that has to do with the program, I get that my face is on it, but stuff like that doesn't happen if those guys that, you got the Tayshawn Branch or Damo Everett, when you got those guys and Isaiah Simmons and all those guys do a great job, but guys who, help us on scout team and the guys who do all the extra dirty work of get stuff off the bus and get stuff placed and put stuff on the bus after games. Just everybody that's included in what we're doing is just equally as important. And I truly believe that. I don't, it's not a saying. Everybody that's a part of what we're doing is important. So that's pretty much why, it continues to be what it is. And just the next guy pretty much steps from what he puts work in for.
Let me go back to sort of your arrival at Maury, because you came to Maury where you played. We know about Maury's history, guys that have gone to the NFL like Cam Chancellor and Vincent Painter. You played for Delton Cotton. But for you as a student of the game, and you were the OC there dialing up the shots when you had DJ Mack and EJ Faison and all those guys, Kevin Marks at Norview, and put up some major numbers there before you even arrived as a head coach at Maury. But take me through the student of the game part of this for you, because I've been asked, even got asked during the state championship broadcast we had on the NFHS network, and you saw that opening kickoff from Matt Williams to start things off against Highland Springs in that title game in early December. I guess it's early and mid-December. But where do you really study most of your concepts and the way you dial things up offensively, design things up? Some people get the sense it's a lot of Big 12 type of offensive formations and creativity, if you will. Take us through your mindset and how you put things into place regardless of the personnel you have.
Well, first of all, I want to shout out Matt Williams. I talked to him earlier today. Great kickoff return. I know you brought him up, so I just want to make sure I shout him out. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to that, it's just like it's always been a student of the game. I always knew that I wanted to coach when I was playing the game, and even to the point, man, when I started to get involved in coaching, I started to love coaching more than I started to love playing. When I was able to kind of do both still, just paying attention to any and everybody, man. I love the game. I pay attention to the game. NFL. College, it can be great teams, it can be not so great teams. I think there's always a way to learn. There's a bunch of clinics and coaches that I sit down with over our off time and off season, just trying to figure out what can fit, what can't fit, what we can do, what we can't do, and just making it gel to the guys that we have, and not trying to make football hard. I mean, I guess it may look complicated to people outside looking in, but I want to make it as easy as possible for the guys that are here and for the guys that are on this new team. I say it all the time. Like, I never tried to make Torrey's team Keandre Lamberts and those guys' offense. I never tried to make Damo's offense into what Torrey's offense was, and whoever else would have stepped in that quarterback if Matt would have had to step in at quarterback or whatever. It's not about trying to make those guys, the other guys, trying to make LeBron into Keandre Lambert-Smith. It was never going to be that. So it just comes from clinics, just a long time of paying attention. I've always been a guy since I was even playing here in high school, of just always taking notes, keeping stuff throughout the years, always, as much as I was a game plan studier when I was in high school and college for our own scheme and what we were trying to do and just being a student of the game then, it was always in the back of my mind of being a coach in the long run. So just kind of taking my notes then when I was 16, 17, and even when I went to college when I was 19, 20, 21, just still kind of taking those notes from people that either came in to call offense, came in that were head coaches, and all of those different trees and different people that I learned stuff from, just pretty much just kind of stuck with me and just make it into my own. I didn't create or invent any wheel or new things. I just, what I did I did a good job of paying attention. I'm gonna just say that. I did a good job of paying attention. Whether it was good or bad, I think you can learn from both situations. So it was just taking it, paying attention, man, and just making it my own and just putting people around me that are able to pretty much help me do what I do, man. And it's a bunch of people that help me be what it looks to be. And I get that I'm going to get the end name or praise of everything, but it's some people around me that help me do what I do.
No, I can appreciate that. You're being honest with it. And let me quick follow-up before you then dive into your journey here, the team, the players, and this whole Maury 2025 campaign. So for you, where do you think you evolved most from year one as a coach to just finishing up your ninth season? My gosh, you've done this 9 years now. I'm really getting old now, as are you. But and 8 region titles, the 4 state championships. Where do you think that acceleration or evolution came the most for you? Was there any element or part that you kind of look back at and say, this helped me move forward quicker?
So I would say just that's a great question, Matt. I would say that I became a better coach over the years and from the start, from then to now, really just staying consistent. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is, don't let the success change what has always worked and what has been. And I think that's the biggest thing that I would say that I kind of live by. And to kind of answer your question, I think it kind of ties into what you're asking. The success of, first of all, I'm a guy that cares less about any type of self awards, attention. That stuff, it doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not really looking for how does this benefit me, guy. That's not my personality. Staying grounded to what it's been and what it took to build what is built and not changing. Obviously there's a difference between like evolving and trying to make sure that, when I say that no team is the same as last year or this team is going to be different, you want to try and evolve with some stuff and tweak some stuff that fits this team more than that team or that stuff less than this team. But as far as like what the standard is and what it's been, winning one championship wasn't going to change the mindset, the goal, and what the vision is. And winning 2 championships wasn't going to do that, 3 and 4. And even now, there's been no, relax from now 3-peating and winning 4. There's a goal at hand. And when we get back and have a conversation with the guys, we got a new goal and what we're trying to chase and get. But it's not getting comfortable in the situation or with the success. That's never been me, and I'm glad the coaches that I do have on the staff right now, because they pretty much have the same mindset of just not letting the success, get to you. And everybody that's on the staff right now, I feel great about. I feel like we're moving on a mission, and those are probably the biggest things to answer your question. I know it's maybe not exactly what the answer that you're looking for, but that's kind of what I felt like has kind of kept it what it's been and what it's going to continue to be.
No, I know you didn't reinvent the wheel, but the wheels are always turning, I think, in your mind to keep preparing for what might happen or what could happen next for you. I think that's a big deal. Before we take a quick 1-2 minute timeout and come back with more on your season, I want you to hit on the offseason, how important it is for you all at Maury, because you do 7-on-7 passing league over at Powhatan. You go to Old Dominion and you're grooming in a new quarterback who you knew had ability, but you brought back some veteran wide receivers. Certainly LeBron Bond goes to Indiana, but Javon Wiggins is on our screen there, who's headed to William and Mary. Damon McDaniel Jr., who was a big key cog for you going to NC Central as well. And then also Elijah Moss Williams, who's going to James Madison University to play his college football, we think. So that's what last I've heard. You can update if there's something new on that front there. For your new sophomore trigger man in Damo Everett, who put up some amazing numbers and got state player of the year. Some wondered about the quarterback position. Oh, my goodness, Torrey Newkirk leads. And I know you took – I don't want to say this and offend you or say the wrong words, but it felt like in watching some of your interviews with some of the TV stations, people, a little bit of umbrage, like, hey, we've done this thing before. Just because Newkirk's now at UNC doesn't mean the whole thing goes in the crapper. But more than that, you knew what you had in Everett. You knew what you had in the wide receiver positions. Tell me, at what point did you feel not so much fine, but all right, we're ready to be or making progress? Was it not even until game one? Was there a point in the offseason where you said, all right, they're starting to get what we want?
Yeah, there was a couple times in the offseason where you saw what the guys can be and what they can do. First of all, to just touch on Damo Everett, I think he was the biggest question mark for other people. It was pretty much the same thing before Torrey Newkirk, became who he became. I think it was somebody that nobody knew about and didn't know who was next. And he goes 2 years straight and does what he does. And that's all credit to that kid for what he did. But we knew we had Damo in the back pocket. We were glad that he wanted to be here. I'm glad that I have him. But that was probably the biggest question mark in our all season to other people. It definitely wasn't a question mark to nobody on our staff, and especially myself. I probably got that. That was probably the biggest question that I had probably the most in the off season was about Damo. And there was never any doubt that I knew what Damo could be and what he can bring us and who he could be. There was never any doubt, and there's still no doubt. I know what he's going to continue to do, and I know what he will continue to do. But as far as doing what he did, no surprise at all. I think that, I honestly feel like he wasn't talked about enough or, didn't get, the praise or whatever that he deserved. But it's okay. Like, he's a kid that's going to put his head down, keep working. That's what type of program we are, and we're cool with that. So, he showed shades early, and just like with anything, he was probably the most inexperienced when you're talking about, a Tayshaun Branch, and you're talking about the Javon Wiggins and Dane McDaniel and Eli, all those guys you're talking about. He was the most inexperienced, but he showed his good and his bad. But that's developing, that's coaching, and we don't shy away from development and getting guys better. And he took that on. And for the rest of those guys, I just think there were times in the offseason that was good and bad, which you need for a championship team. But just like I said all the time, just like I said in all the interviews and us going 14-1, I think for this team that loss was needed. It was needed to open up the eyes. Like I say, you got to think that those guys have just been used to winning. Some of those guys have played a year, 2 years of football, high school football, and never lost a game. Some guys had been here and all they lost was the state championship their freshman year to Holland Springs.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you're alluding to that Cardinal Gibbons season opening loss, which was a close, winnable game, 24-20, if I remember right, because I was watching it on NFHS, at least trying to watch it among the 4 or 5 games. As you know, I watch simultaneously on multiple devices here. I think you had like a key fumble. It might have been late third, early fourth quarter. I remember texting somebody watching, like, that might bite you. But it was something that you think, looking back on now, was needed to kind of refocus the group.
Yeah, I think it was big. I think any loss that we've taken, if anybody goes to look and see any losses that we've taken over the years in this stretch, it's always been a learned lesson. It's never been excuses. We're not trying, this guy was injured and maybe if they would have had these guys in this game. No, we played the game and we lost. It's really that simple. But in that, we also learned a lesson on what we need to do to be better in those moments that those things happen. And we learned that lesson. And, we saw losing like a kid like Isaiah Simmons and still being able to get it done. So those are lessons that we learned. And we learned in front of Cardinal Gibbons, like I said. You talk about that fumble that happened. You're talking about a guy who that happened to in that game, and then the playoff stretch that he just went on. Just remembering what happened in that game that we lost and carrying that with him in those last 3 games of the season, and how he played, it pretty much showed that still carried on from that moment. And I just think that game right there was a good point for us, man. And even I think those first 3 games were kind of the moments to kind of get to the meat of your question of what you asked. Mm-hmm. Those first 3 games is pretty much kind of what got us there, man. Losing that game versus Cardinal Gibbons, which I felt like this team needed. I don't know how I would have went if we were 13-0 going into that Stonebridge game on the road. I don't know how it would have went for us. So it was needed. We go on the road to Verona, who, probably the best team that we played in this year, pound for pound.
They put it on in the Class 4 championship, didn't they? My goodness.
To play them on the road, and just like any good team, man, they made their mistakes in that game. We also made ours. We made ours in the Cardinal Gibbons game. It's 2 teams battling it out. Both teams are going to make mistakes. Somebody's got to come out on top. We won a big one on the road, and, in that moment, Damo could have tucked his tail in that moment in time from not playing so well in the first half. But, again, another situation where I never stopped believing that kid. I don't care what was going to happen in that game. It was never going to stop believing. He turns around and throws a game-winning touchdown to Javon Wiggins, who we talked about, in a critical moment of us needing that play. And there will be a lot of guys who would end up folding that moment from how they played early on. So that right there kind of really just stamped my situation with Damo and saying, yes, we have a guy. We have a guy that can go through hard times and still bounce back when the moment is the moment. So that's what really put it over top for Damo. For me and for everybody else, it was rallying around him in that time. And then going to the Bishop McNamara and guys, battling out in that game. I think that was a 3 overtime game, and just, not losing ourselves and just still trying to find a way to battle and fight. Like those 3 games pretty much told me, okay, like we really got the team to do it. Let's lock in. And to my last point to your question is, I think that's the moment when, after that Bishop McNamara game, is when I sat down with the players and the coaches across the board. And I just, told everybody across the board, like, listen, if comfortability is in you and you're going to bring it into this program, it's going to get uncomfortable for you over these next few weeks. I just got to be honest with you guys. And that was coaches and players. And for some guys that understood the message, they turned around the comfortability and got it right. And there was a lot of guys, players and coaches that wanted to live the comfortability route. And I'm just not built for that in this program. There's plenty of other programs that are okay with comfortability and just kind of getting by. This just isn't that program. So I just think that we kind of turned it up as a team overall, staff and players, after those 3 games.
You can watch the full conversation with Dyrri McCain by visiting Cova Sports TV on YouTube. Stay tuned. More 757 Sports Talk comes your way after the break.
And we're back here on 757 Sports Talk. I'm the coach, Ed Young, from the Smithfield Packers. We got more high school hoops content for you, all of you, as my co-host, Matt Hatfield, spoke with a couple of the standouts from the area games as Josh Rice and Abraham Taft shared their thoughts after an overtime win over Woodside in a recent ball game. And Jamari Edwards of Lake Taylor speaks on his MVP showing against Kellum at the Virginia Hoop Fest at Norview High School. Let's check it out right now here on Cova Sports TV.
Okay, here with a couple of Hampton Crabber seniors, we got Joshua Rice on the left, number 11, and on the right, Abraham Taft, as they combine for 33 points and a bundle of rebounds, key steals, and assists. They win in overtime over Woodside, 56-54. Josh, tell me about this game against Woodside. We know about them being the kings of the PD, and you guys have had a couple of battles. I know you were in Texas last year back with the Crabbers. How did it feel to get this win tonight, an extra session on the road in their place?
This game felt really personal. I played here on varsity as a freshman with these guys, and we lost twice, so it was big for us to come here and win, especially in our last away game.
Abe, we've seen this team play a lot better here the last several games since the season opening loss to Denby. What's triggered the turnaround for you guys? The holiday tournament against Bethel, you had a nasty jam. You guys won big tonight. You had some struggles early, but you got it going. What's been different about this team here the last few weeks?
Offensively, like we just been like getting better in practice. Moving the ball around. And then when it comes game time, we got the chemistry to just play with each other.
You won a state championship your sophomore year.
Yes, sir.
You and Gavin Kay, along with that team that had Malik Johnson and others. You and Gavin coming off the football field. How much is it taking some time to get your legs here, if you will? I know you played basketball in the summertime too, though.
Yeah, for me it didn't really like take that long. It's just like I'm still working on my shot and stuff like that, but it didn't take that long to get back into the play.
What makes this guy to your right so effective on the court? He gives you another dimension on your team, doesn't he?
Yeah, the way he commands the team, pushes the ball, he can handle it, shoot it. He's just a all-around player.
And for you, Josh, you and the guards like Cam Jennerette and Fullwood off the bench, other guys, what's a luxury to have this guy going to the hoop, slashing and jamming it, and also Gavin Kay, a big 6'8" enforcer in the inside? How much does it help you all as backcourt players, players?
It helps us a lot offensively as a whole. We try to instill that we play bigger because we're tougher and we go at it in practice. So just having that confidence every day makes it easy.
Sure. For both of you guys, let's chat for a second about college. I know you're getting some looks for basketball and football, basketball. What are you looking for in the school next level? Any interest in some schools? And what are the things that matter to you as you get ready beyond the senior year? How about you for your first, Abe? What are you looking at? Are you looking at football more for basketball than basketball? Or
I'm looking at both. Okay. But I got an offer already from Elizabeth City, and I got a lot of interest from other colleges and stuff like that.
Awesome. Josh, I know you have a 3.9 GPA in the classroom, so academics is really important to you. What's it looking like for you next level, and what are you looking for?
Next level, really looking for high academics. That's the biggest thing. And then just going somewhere where I can come in and make an impact immediately, especially since I'm a young freshman.
Mm-hmm. Take me through the huddle, what Coach Brown was telling you guys down the stretch. You guys lost an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter. How did you keep your heads in the overtime and not flinch?
We've been through it before, a lot of tough battles in practice in the first game, like you said. We really just hunkered down as a team and just trusted each other, and we said we had it. What's going to be the key, Babe, for you guys to get back to the Siegel Center? You were there your 10th grade year. I know you want to get there here as a senior, and Class 4 is very competitive, but it's a big win for you guys to build off of tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. To get back there, we just need to be like a defensively team, and just keep playing together. No selfishness, no none of that.
Be honest with you guys. There's a lot of chatter about the big matchup with Woodside Denby on Tuesday. That didn't get you extra motivated for this one? Like, hey, we're coming to play too and try to beat these two teams as well?
We did. I feel like tonight was definitely a message to them that just because we lost the first one, we're still that same team that everybody thought we were.
All right, and lastly, fun one here. Who had the better dunk? Yours tonight or yours against Massachusetts?
I got to give it to him. That was way better.
That was better? Okay.
I feel like mine's impactful because of the atmosphere, but he had a way better dunk.
All right, good deal. Well, watch these two guys make a play for the Crabbers. Joshua Rice, Abraham Taft. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Okay, here with Lake Taylor senior guard Jamari Edwards, 24 points, a new season high, 2 off his career best as they defeat Kellum coming from behind today, 62-46 in the Norview VA Hoop Fest. All right, Jamari, you guys stay undefeated 9-0 on the season. You guys are down 15. I think it was 12 at the half. What was said in the locker room to get that energy started for you all?
I basically told the guys, I'm like, can't lose this, and we got to come out and play defense. I don't think we were playing good defense in the first half. So I think the second half, we turned up on our defense, our energy, and that's what made us get the win.
Kellum's a different type of team to prepare for. They're fundamentally sound. They're half court. They slow it down a little bit. You're used to going up and down in the Eastern District.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you could speed them up in the second half? Was that a big key?
Yeah, I think we did a better job speeding them up. They run a lot of off-ball things, so practice, we kind of talked about that, and we kind of worked on that, and I think we did a good job overall. So.
Now, last time Lake Taylor played, at least I was at in the showcase, I talked with a couple of your teammates, and Shaquante, Junior Evans, Ricardo Jones, you didn't play. How much were you excited? Bigger crowd, games are getting bigger now. You guys were down. I feel like I got to take charge in the third quarter myself, and you got hot in the third quarter shooting the ball.
Yeah, so I'm the senior guard, so, I just kind of coach always tell me the team goes as me and Kari go. We both seniors, so, as a senior, you got to take lead, and the team will follow you.
You were a part of the Lake Taylor team a couple years ago. You got to the state finals.
Yeah.
Had the heartbreak coming up this short. Now that it's your last hurrah, how much do you want to change that feeling and have a memorable finish and get to the Siegel Center and get the championship?
You just gave me shivers talking about it, and I really want to get back to the state championship. And I told myself if I get back, I'm not losing. So that's how I'm coming this season.
Now, I believe you have aspirations to play college ball somewhere. Yeah. Tell us why a college should recruit you and what you think the best traits are of your game today. It looks like you can shoot from 3 with the best of them.
Yeah, so I got a couple colleges looking at me. Hopefully I'll make my decision soon, maybe after the season. So I'm still looking. And I think my best asset is just I think I'm a winner. So I think I can do whatever the team needs for me to win. I'm gonna do what the team needs for me to win. So I think that's my biggest asset.
Sure, a couple more for later on. Offense got you going in the third quarter. How about the defense in the fourth quarter? Was the message just lock up, don't let 14? Trey Barnhart is a good player, beat us?
Yeah, I don't think our defense was necessarily tailored toward him because the first half, a lot of their players were getting off, and we know Trey, their best player. I don't think he was getting off that much in the first half, but so I think we just had to lock in defensively everybody, all 5 of the guys, because a lot of their other players were getting off too. So
sure. All right, last 2 full ones here. Blake Taylor, I know you're running a championship this year, but you watch pros in college. Who are the players you study and trying to emulate, or you got a favorite player in the league or in college too?
King Giles from Oscar Smith. I watch him a lot. He's tough. I also like Kentucky, so I've been watching a lot of Kentucky. We're not that good this season, but hopefully we get it soon. So, yeah.
All right. I know Coach Edwards' family, but it's just us talking. It's a secret. Who does the best imitation of Coach on the team? Anybody? Who's the best imitation of Coach? Is it you? Is it somebody else? Probably you?
Probably Jamari.
Okay, one of you two. All right, well, the Titans stay unbeaten in their champs in the championship in Class 3. Jamari, congratulations on MVP, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
And welcome back to 757 Sports Talk here on Cobra Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. As Ed, the AFC playoffs are now set. We spoke about the NFC earlier in the show. Your matchups featuring the number 1 seed with the Denver Broncos, who saw that coming when the season started. The 6th-seeded Bills at the 3rd-seeded Jags. Buffalo opening up as a slight 1.5-point favorite on the road. The 7th-seeded Chargers at the 2nd-seeded New England Patriots. 3.5-point pups are the Bolts going from West Coast to East Coast. And it's the 4th-seeded Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the 5th-seeded Houston Texans. A lot of folks like the Texans and their great defense. AFC looks wide open, but like you said with the Rams and the 5 seed, I took the Niners in the 6th seed. In the NFC, a lot of people will be circling the wagons of the 6th-seeded Buffalo Bills. The question is, can they stop the run and play strong defense? And will they have enough weaponry, pass catchers, for Josh Allen to do work against Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence? That's a big question. I think you're probably surprised at that line, but it feels very wide open in the AFC, just like the NFC.
Yeah, that's an intriguing matchup. Bills, Jaguars. Not easy for either one. I picked Bills before the season started to get to the Super Bowl. Kind of waffled as the season went on. I for a while there, I was thought maybe Kansas City early. They went out. I can't put my hat on New England and Jacksonville. And it's probably going to be one of those two coming out of there, to be honest. I'm a little surprised at Chargers. You said Chargers are favorite over the Pack.
No. I did not say that. 3.5-point pup in New England.
Puppies. Okay.
Yeah, dog, underdog.
Should be favorite. I would like to see. I would actually hope the Chargers beat them, but
offensive line issues. I don't know if they can block well enough for Justin Herbert on the road in New England. I think the Pats are solid, and Drake May's playing like an MVP. I got to give it to him. Mike Vrabel's turned things around quickly there. I'm not sure New England or Denver's ready to win, so I feel like the opportunity's there for Buffalo. And while I said last week on the show the winner of Ravens-Steelers would have a great chance to win at home, I think the Texans' defense will get it done, even though C.J. Stroud is inconsistent. So I feel like I said with the 6-3 matchup in the NFC, I do believe the winner of the Buffalo-Jacksonville game is going to come out of the AFC. As crazy as that sounds, I like their path to get there. Now, they'll have to probably go to New England for the second round. In Jacksonville's case, Buffalo might get a trip to Denver, which would be hard for their offense to function against that defense, though James Cook, if he can hang onto the ball and not fumble it, that's the key. You know, these great running backs not coughing it up. It's been an issue for Derrick Henry even at times for Baltimore. But I think that's what we're looking at. I think that the winner of Bills-Jags will end up taking it when it's all said and done. You got one team you like above the rest? Who you going with?
Yeah, I'm going to lean towards Buffalo, but isn't it amazing? Both Seattle and Denver are number 1 seeds and don't seem to be getting much national flair or even from you or I much hope.
Well, can you see a Bo Nix, Sam Darnold Super Bowl? I'm not so sure I am. People are used to names like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and the Peyton Mannings, the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Kurt Warners of the world, quarterbacks we've seen in years, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Josh Allen's waiting for his time, his moment in the sun. We'll see if he gets it. But Allen's a smart pick. The Bills are, but I'm going to go outside the box. I'm going to say we get a Jacksonville-San Fran Super Bowl. How about that? You like that? How about them apples?
I might watch one first quarter.
You might watch one first quarter. All right. Maybe. There's just a slight change.
Now, who I want to get there all the way would be Steelers, my 118, and probably play Philly, all Pennsylvania final.
That's what you want.
Down in what? Where they played? Where's Super Bowl? In San
Francisco. Yeah, it's up there in Cali. Cali this year. Cali this year.
Pittsburgh and Philly, all the way to California, play the Super Bowl.
I want to say it's on NBC, but don't quote me on that. We'll figure that out. We'll have that for you next week on the show. That's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. For all our guests and all of you tuning in, we thank you for doing so, and we'll catch you next time right here on Cova Sports TV. Get 2026 off to a rocket start. See you later.